Right now, your brain is lying to you. Look at my face on your screen. You think you see the whole thing clearly, but you're actually only seeing about 2% of it. The rest, your brain just made it up. Close your left eye. Hold your thumb up at arm's length. Now slowly move it to the right while staring straight ahead. Around 15 degrees to the right, your thumb just vanished. That's not a magic trick. That's a massive blind spot in your vision that exists every second of every day. Your brain has been hiding this from you your entire life. And that's just the beginning of the lies. You clicked on this video because you saw those creepy black voids in the thumbnail. Those aren't exaggerations. They're actually smaller than your real blind spots. Yeah, it gets worse. Here's what's about to mess with your head. Everything you think you know about your vision is wrong. You don't see the world like a camera. You see tiny fragments, and your brain plays Photoshop wizard to convince you it's all real. Scientists have proven that 90% of what you see is completely fabricated by your brain, not interpreted, not enhanced. Straight up invented. Think about that. 9 out of every 10 things you're looking at right now don't actually exist in your vision. They exist in your imagination, and your brain is so good at lying that you never noticed, until now. Let me show you something that'll make you question everything. Look at any word in this sentence. Without moving your eyes, try to read the words just 2 inches away. You can't. But here's the weird part. Until I just told you to try, you thought you could see this entire screen clearly. Your sharp vision, the part that actually sees detail, is tiny. Hold your thumb at arm's length. See your thumbnail. That's it. That's all you can see clearly at any moment. Everything else is peripheral vision, and peripheral vision is basically your brain's fever dream. But wait, if we can only see a tiny spot clearly, why does the whole world look sharp? Because your eyes are constantly jumping around, making these tiny movements called saccades. 3 to 4 times every second, your eyes dart to a new spot. Your brain takes these glimpses and stitches them together like the world's fastest video editor. Here's where it gets crazy. During those eye movements, you're completely blind. Your brain literally shuts off your vision while your eyes move. Add it up, and you're blind for about 40 minutes every single day just from blinking and eye movements. But you never notice because your brain fills in the gaps with what it thinks should be there. Remember that thumb disappearing trick from earlier? That blind spot exists because of how your eye is built. Where your optic nerve connects to your eye, there are no light sensors. It's like having a security camera with a massive dead zone. Except this camera is your eye, and the dead zone is the size of 12 full moons in the sky. You have 2 of these blind spots, 1 in each eye, and they're huge. But your brain doesn't want you to know about them. So it takes information from around the blind spot and just guesses. It literally makes up what should be there. Scientists did this wild experiment. They showed people a screen with a dot that would disappear into their blind spot. Then they surrounded the blind spot area with vertical lines on one side and horizontal lines on the other. When the dot disappeared into the blind spot, people didn't see a blank space. Their brain invented a pattern that was half vertical, half horizontal, something that was never actually shown to them. Your brain is literally creating fictional content and inserting it into your vision without asking permission. Here's something that'll break your brain. Your peripheral vision is colorblind. Yeah, you think you see colors everywhere, but you don't. Your brain is adding those colors based on what it expects. Scientists proved this with a simple experiment. They slowly moved colored cards from the side of someone's vision toward the center. People couldn't identify the color until the card was way closer to their central vision than they expected. But here's the kicker. Everyone swore they could see colors in their peripheral vision before the experiment. Your brain is so good at this lie that it's been colorizing your peripheral vision your entire life. And you never knew you were living in a partially black and white world. But the deception goes deeper. Your peripheral vision can't read, can't recognize faces, can barely make out shapes. It's basically just a motion detector. The only reason you think you can see clearly everywhere is because your brain remembers what's there and projects that memory onto your current view. This is where things get straight up sci-fi. Your brain is constantly time traveling, and I mean that literally. When you see something, it takes about 1/10 of a second for that information to go from your eye to your brain and get processed. That means you're always seeing the past. But if you were actually seeing everything 1/10 of a second late, you'd be walking into walls and missing high fives constantly. So your brain predicts the future, takes the motion of objects, and calculates where they'll be by the time you become conscious of them. You're not seeing where things are, you're seeing where your brain thinks they'll be. When your brain gets this prediction wrong, that's when you get optical illusions. There's this famous experiment called the flash lag illusion. A ring of light moves in a circle, and at one point, a dot flashes in the center of the ring. Even though the flash happens exactly when the ring passes by, everyone sees the ring as being ahead of the flash. That's your brain's time travel showing its work. Here's a fact that'll mess you up. Your eye has way better resolution in the center than any camera, but absolute garbage resolution everywhere else. The center of your vision has about 200 times more detail than your peripheral vision. Imagine if your phone camera worked like that. Super HD in a tiny center spot and increasingly blurry everywhere else until the edges were just colored blobs. You'd return it immediately. But that's exactly how your eyes work, and your brain has been hiding this from you by creating a fake full-resolution image. Scientists can actually map this. The very center of your vision, called the fovea, is packed with color-detecting cone cells. As you move outward, these cones get replaced by rods that only see brightness, not color or detail. By the time you get to your far peripheral vision, you might as well be looking through frosted glass. But you never notice because your brain is running the ultimate con game. It takes the low-res garbage from your periphery and upscales it based on memory and context. It's like having an AI that generates fake detail in real time, except this AI has been running since the day you were born. Those eye movements I mentioned earlier, saccades, they're hiding something even weirder. When your eyes move, they can hit speeds of up to 500 degrees per second. That's so fast that the image would be a complete blur. So your brain just turns off your vision during the movement. But here's the thing. Your brain doesn't just black out the vision, it manipulates time. It takes the image from where your eyes land and backfills it in time, so you think you are seeing it all along. This is called saccadic masking, and it happens 100,000 times every single day. Try this. Look at your left eye in a mirror, then shift your gaze to your right eye. You never see your eyes move, do you? But someone watching you would clearly see them darting back and forth. That's because your brain is cutting out the footage of your eyes moving and splicing the timeline to hide it. You're living in an edited reality, and your brain is the editor. Your brain doesn't just hide things from you, it actively makes stuff up. This is called filling in, and it's happening right now. There are blood vessels running across your retina. They cast shadows on your light-detecting cells. You should be seeing a network of dark lines across everything you look at, like looking through a cracked window. But you don't see them because your brain edits them out and fills in the missing information. Same thing happens with a blind spot. Your brain doesn't just leave it blank, it invents content to fill it. If your blind spot is over a pattern, your brain continues the pattern. If it's over a solid color, your brain fills it with that color. It's constantly generating fictional visual content. Scientists have pushed this to extremes. They've created setups where they can make entire objects disappear from your vision. And your brain just fills in the background like the object was never there. Not in your blind spot. In your regular vision, your brain will literally delete things from reality if it thinks they don't belong. So let's add this up. You only see clearly in 2% of your visual field. You have massive blind spots your brain hides. Your peripheral vision is colorblind and low resolution. You're blind during eye movements. Your brain time travels to predict where things will be. And most of what you see is your brain's best guess based on memory and expectation. You're not seeing reality. You're seeing a heavily edited, mostly fictional story that your brain is telling you about reality. And it's been doing this every waking moment of your life. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature. Your brain evolved to give you useful information, not accurate information. It's better to have a complete-looking picture that's mostly made up than to see the Swiss cheese mess that your eyes actually provide. But once you know about it, you can't unknow it. Every time you look around now, you'll remember that most of what you're seeing isn't really there. Your brain is lying to you, and it's really, really good at it. The next time someone says seeing is believing, remember this: seeing is your brain showing you what it thinks you need to believe. Reality, that's something else entirely. Here's the part that breaks people. This isn't just about vision. If your brain lies this much about something as basic as what you see, what else is it lying about? Your memories, your decisions, your entire perception of reality. But that's a rabbit hole for another video. For now, just remember that face in the mirror. You've never actually seen the whole thing at once. You've only seen fragments, and your brain convinced you it was complete. Sweet dreams.